Mm.
But the article, the story, the piece is about how mandates across the state have in fact infringed on the rights of the people of Louisiana. Well, my first thought was, well, yeah, duh, but there's a little more to it than that, isn't there?
That's right. There's been a lot of conversation, a lot of questions about what not only what should the government do, and you and I have talked about that before, and we certainly have our opinions, but also what can the government do? What does the Constitution allow? What have the courts allowed? And then also, again, to that solutions piece, what should we look at? What should we think about changing to make sure we can better balance life, health, and liberty in the next public health emergency? Sadly, I think we all know this is not the last one we're going to face.
What is the conclusion that you draw at pelicaninstitute.org?
Absolutely. So it's as you can imagine, as you set up, it's not as simple as it all seems. That there's a lot in this paper. I was joking. My colleague Sarah Harbison is the one who did the research and wrote it. And I was joking with Sarah, there's a little bit in here for everyone to hate. So the fact of the matter is, the 10th Amendment of the Constitution gives broad authority to state leaders, and the courts have regularly upheld the governors of the states' rights to restrict liberty in the context of a public health emergency. However,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish up.
Yeah. So, however, that doesn't mean they've given unlimited authority, and some other states, as we studied and researched, have some better, in our opinion, checks and balances. Right. Our entire American experiment is built on a government that can be checked and that has balance across it. We feel like we're missing a little of that here in Louisiana.
The last couple of days, we have discussed at some length the current condition of the New Orleans Saints, allowing fans into the Superdome. And the governor at this point has given his thumb up to the plan that has been submitted by Saints management, by the NFL. But I don't know if you've been keeping up, but Mayor Cantrell in New Orleans seems to be holding up the whole thing. And she wants more federal money from the state. What do you think about all that? What do you think about, and let's look at it in a more of a macro way, what do you think about the politicization of all of the coronavirus or many of the coronavirus mandates?
Oh, there's no question. Robert, as your listeners may know, I live here in New Orleans, where I'm calling you from today. And Mayor Cantrell made the great mistake of politics, right? And she told the truth accidentally. And it became clear in the press conference that I'm not suggesting all of the decisions were based on this, but most recent decisions seem pretty clear about money and not about public health. And so, this again became just a little too painfully obvious that the holdout here of actually letting people get back to work, getting people back into their daily lives with precautions and care, as we all should, really here in New Orleans comes down to the mighty dollar, and it's a sad, sad thing.
Daniel Erspamer, pelicaninstitute.org. Folks, go to the website. What else will they see other than the story about maybe the overstepping of a mandate or two?
You can find all sorts of things. We've been talking lately and diving into the unemployment numbers and trying to understand some trends in those. They've been more and more depressing every day. You can find education reform issues. How do we get kids back to school safely and get them back on track in learning? And lots more solutions of how do we encourage human flourishing here in Louisiana.